A 4-day week is a good idea because we've seen in the trials that have taken place in the United States, in the United Kingdom, and elsewhere all over the world over the course of the last year that most of the companies participating in those trials have said they plan on making the policy permanent. Their revenue has either remained stable or has increased during the trial, and they've experienced that their productivity has been able to be maintained and in many cases even improved. Unsurprisingly, we saw improvements across a whole range of different well-being indicators amongst employees that participated in the trials, but it's something that can actually be better for business too.
Doesn't that sound great? A 4-day work week? But does it actually work in practice? Imagine having every Friday off without losing pay and getting more work done in less time. Sounds too good to be true, right? But this isn't a fantasy, and it's not some Silicon Valley experiment. It's already happening, as you can see, and it's working. I've spent time researching real-world pilot programs, expert studies, and real success stories. And what I found is clear. When done thoughtfully, a 4-day work week doesn't just help employees. It actually helps businesses thrive. Today I'm going to show you how a 4-day work week boosts productivity, reduces burnout, and helps company attract and keep top talent. So let's start first with productivity, what everybody wants to know about. In 2019, Microsoft Japan ran a trial where employees worked just 4 days a week. The result was that productivity jumped 40% without any increase in hours or pay. Let me say that again. 40% more output in less time. Here's why. With less time in a week, teams cut out the fluff. Meetings were shorter or eliminated entirely if not necessary. They prioritized what's mattered, so there was less wasted time and more focused effort. And this wasn't just a fluke. It's a trend we're seeing again and again. When you reduce the hours that people work, they become more productive, not less productive. Very important. Now, if you talk about employees' well-being, which is something that also gets brought up, in 2022, a large-scale pilot in the UK tested the 4-day work week across 60 companies. After 6 months, 71% of employees reported lower burnout. That's huge. 71%. So it makes sense if you stop to think about it. They get an extra day of rest, recharge, or take care of life outside of work. Who hasn't tried that balance before? It's hard. But when they came back on Mondays after a 3-day weekend, they were more focused, energized, and healthy. Sick days went down, stress went down, and job satisfaction went up. So it's not just good for people, because that's a big part of it, but it's also good for the business. When employees burn out, it costs companies billions each year in absenteeism, turnover, and lost productivity. A shorter week may be the best medicine that we needed all along. Who knew? The third part about that is going to be talent, such as recruitment and retention. The job market's competitive these days, of course. Workers are rethinking what they want from careers, and a 4-day work week gives companies a major edge in hiring and retaining great people. If you're looking at 2 companies and everything is equal and one has a 4-day work week, I think that answer is kind of simple. Everyone's heard of Kickstarter, the crowdfunding platform. They ran a successful trial and they made the 4-day work week permanent. Why? Because employees were happier. They stayed. Replacing an employee can cost 50 to 200% of their salary. So if a shorter work week keeps your best people around, it's not a cost, it's a savings. Now, some of you may be thinking, sure, but it won't work for everybody. That's true. It's not going to work for everybody. Not every industry can just switch to a Monday through Thursday overnight and be successful at it. But it doesn't mean that it's impossible. Flexible models exist, rotating schedules, use shift work, run pilot programs in small teams before scaling up. It doesn't have to be a one-size-fits-all solution. We need a mindset shift. So the 4-day work week doesn't have to be just a feel-good idea or a pipe dream for the average American worker. It's a proven strategic move backed by data, results, and real-world example. So here's my challenge to you. Stop asking if it's possible. Start planning the pilot in your company. Take the initiative. The future of work isn't longer. The future of work is shorter and smarter. Thank you for your attention for this. My name is Caitlin, and I enjoyed talking to you today.